Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the Governance Committee meeting to order. At this time, I'll turn the meeting over to Suzanne Hensley.
Good morning, Madam Chair, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Thank you for giving me the opportunity for my first report as the Internal Control Manager. Hopefully I'll give you some information today that will be of interest. I'm going to start by giving you an overview of the Internal Control Manager roadmap we've kind of developed in the past 6 months. Some of the things that we've done so far, what we're planning to do for the next 6 months. And we'll briefly discuss the annual missions statement and performance measures review requirement, and finally I'll give you an update on the strategic plan update. You do have a copy of the report in your packet. Any questions or comments before we get started? We'll start with the Internal Control Manager roadmap. I was very excited to have a new position in May. Wasn't sure what I'd find when I got here. But in general, I was very happy to discover an established Internal Control Manager program. And there appears to be a staff that's really committed to, that's a good start. It makes my job a lot easier. New York State Public Authorities Law, Section 2931, requires us to have a system of internal controls that meet standards, a leadership that's behind that program, and it explains to everyone that everyone has a role to make it successful, and we have to periodically review weaknesses, take corrective action, and assess our results. Since stepping into the position in May, my primary focus has been learning about our operations and what our legislative purpose was, assessing the current and control environment, identifying any key risks we have, and then creating a roadmap to get us strengthened governance and compliance successful. A second identified strength was our Reaching Productivity Milestones, or RPM program. It's a robust recognition program, and it's designed to reward behaviors aligned with core values and boost morale and motivation. And that, again, is designed to bring us all focused on mission success. Any questions or comments on the CEO message or the RPM program? So we have a solid foundation aligned with COSO principles, but there do have a few areas we've identified that need some improvement. We do have policies and procedures that are kind of internalized, but not documented very well. So there are some areas across different departments and properties where we need to take those policies and get them formally documented. It's not that they're not being followed, but perhaps there's some nuances that aren't understood by everyone. We will make sure that it's consistent across the board. Formal written policies and procedures that do exist don't always have a scheduled review to make sure that they're most current in content and format. So we're building a schedule to help correct that. Control testing is currently unstructured and spontaneous based on findings or events or when something comes up. So we're going to correct that by building a schedule where we look in each department, each accessible unit, and identify those problems early. And monitoring and reporting activities rely heavily on manual processes that are slow, resource intensive, and can be error prone. So we're hoping to leverage some technology to make that a little better. So what have we accomplished so far? Some opportunities to enhance board and staff training have been identified based on ABO guidance, and you'll hear more about that in the future. A formal review cycle was developed for all currently published formal policies and procedures. We're hoping to look at every published policy and procedure that's out there, have them reviewed, and update content and formatting by the end of calendar year 2026. We started documenting operations supervisor responsibilities across properties. There used to be a document a long time ago. It's kind of sat dormant for a very long time. So we've taken that out, brushed it off. We have a committee that's meeting, and we're updating it to include not just what happens here in Syracuse, but all the properties, and trying to standardize that so that everybody has a consistent framework to work from. Trapeze Working Group was established to use that software to make sure that everyone's using it the same across the properties and that we're leveraging whatever technology is available to us to try and automate some of the reporting and monitoring that we have. We did an audit of the Q2 RPM bonus payment FLSA calculations. There were no findings there. An audit of the new employee onboarding was completed, no significant findings there. And we started a formal audit of the public-facing website to ensure we're in compliance with accountability and transparency laws. Looking ahead, some additional next steps. We're going to do a formal risk assessment after the new year and hopefully create a structured evaluation calendar to touch all departments and all properties. We're reviewing and enhancing our record retention schedule. I think that was brought up by Susanna not too long ago. We're gonna brush that off and get that started back up. Exploring additional tools that could help automate control monitoring and reporting. Identifying risk assessment, integrating risk assessment into our strategic planning, and publishing internal control articles each quarter to help with training and awareness. So our initial assessment is we have a strong foundation for internal controls. It's supported by a culture of integrity and engagement, but we need a little bit of work on documentation, monitoring, and risk management, and leveraging our technology. And then we can strengthen governance and compliance and better safeguard our resources. My hope is to reframe the perception of internal controls from fault finding to more of an internal improvement program. Highlight controls are about building a collaborative approach and strengthening the organization by improving our processes up to par. Any questions or comments on the road? That's a lot.
Policy to me is different than procedure.
Correct.
Okay. Do you see then some of the procedures coming together as a policy?
We have a lot of procedures that are out there that aren't under an umbrella of a policy. So probably first we're gonna have to capture some of our procedures and get them documented so that everybody's standardized across the board. And then hopefully build an overarching policy over groupings of procedures so that it makes sense as to why
To
we're
me,
doing
policy's a lot more
Why
stronger.
Full governance committee meeting, we'll be discussing having a better look at our mission statement to make sure it is what we want it to be, and that our performance measures are what we do our mission successfully. And that sets the basis for the performance measures.
Performances that you guys want to see as well.
Is the performance measure, is that the?
No. Next month, that's the PTAPs. The performance measure was presented in the June board meeting, so it's part of what we have to update the public to Paris. I was gonna say Paris, but it's through Paris, the reporting system. Melissa usually brings to the finance committee a lot of things that have to also be approved to go there. But those are talking about missed pullouts, on-time performance, ridership, such. It's posted on our website, so we've reviewed that and approved that, but making a mention that it's in the we've statement, the board still finds the mission statement is accurate for the authority. It's something we have to get into the minutes going forward as well.
So there are no questions for Suzanne? No? We're good? Okay, thank you for the presentation, Susanna, this is excellent.
Very good.
Quick break.
Yeah, we'll take a short break. Finance Committee to order. Melissa, topics.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. So after 7 months ending October 31st, the authority reports a consolidated operating income of just under $3 million, excluding capital contributions and non-operating expenses. In regards to our operating revenue, we are performing 7.8% over budget, 10.6% over prior year, and 19% over fiscal year 2024. The favorable budget variance and prior year variance are associated with ridership across both fixed route and demand response call bus services. Although some ridership has leveled out month over month, year over year, we're still about 5.7% of an increase, which contributes to the higher than anticipated fare box revenue and pass sales. Special line revenue favorable performance continues to be a result of scheduled and unscheduled contract rate increases, demand for contracted, and then a small part of that is also the ridership from the New York State Fair. Advertising and other, that remains consistent with budget and prior year. Any questions in regards to our operating revenues?
Well, you probably don't have the answer to this, but I was just wondering, you're saying there's more ridership, is that coming from paratransit or?
From a month over month right now, it is primarily coming from paratransit.
Okay. Just wondering because of the buzz I hear in the streets and, ridership is up, that means it's harder to get your reservations when you want them. So I just want to be able to take that appropriate back to people. But that's what I was saying anyway.
Is it because of paratransit in Cortland? Is that why?
No, we're just seeing an increase in the demand for paratransit across the board. I mean, with the quarterly call bus report we're seeing almost a 10% month over month increase. So, just the demand is up. I mean, the implementation of the VIA platform has allowed us to become more efficient and provide more rides to hopefully reduce the cost. But we're still seeing an increase. So we're continuing to cover all the trips. I don't think we've stranded anybody or denied anybody, but if there is, we can talk offline.
No, there's been none of that, but when you go into VIA to do your reservation, they'll give you a time offering, and it'll say, book now, extremely limited. So people are like, why are we getting that? Ridership is up.
Any other questions in regards to revenues? As of October 31st, operating expenses total just under $55 million, representing a $5 million increase compared to prior year. Current expenses are performing 4.2 under budget. Personnel expenses are 3.6 million and are performing 4.5 million under budget, but 1.3 over prior year. All personnel expense categories are under budget, reflecting a favorable variance across wages, benefits, and related costs. However, I think it is very important to recognize that we do budget these expenses with the understanding that we would hope to be fully staffed, right? And we still are understaffed on our driver's side of things. So on my first slide, I mentioned that we have a $3 million income. However, if we were fully staffed, that would quickly turn into a $1.6 million operating loss. So I just wanted to make sure we are being aware of that. Our goal is to get fully staffed, that is our goal, but it does change our financial situation. Year over year, personnel related variances remain consistent with prior months, with healthcare costs trending slightly above budget. The good news is the number of services and claims remain below prior year. However, the cost of those services have gone up. Non-personnel expenses total just under 17 million, which are 335,000 under budget, but 3.7 million over prior year. This is primarily due to risk management, and that is due to claims stemming from prior year incidents. Year over year, non-personnel related variances remain consistent also with prior months, with purchase transportation variances continuing to trend the same. And as Chris mentioned earlier, the VIA platform is helping us to become more efficient with our paratransit scheduling and resulting in less used as needed runs, which are more expensive. Materials and supplies and services expenses variance are largely attributed to bus parts expense. Although we did account for the onboard of 64 new buses, we are still trending below parts needed to repair all of our fleet. Any questions in regards to operating expenses?
Is the risk management expenses a concern?
No, I believe it should level out in the coming years. That is due to prior year claims that we're continuing to realize in this year.
Has there been any information on the STOA increase for operating programs?
So, I'm gonna make a comment and then you can, so, per our budget guidelines, we will budget that flat. But that doesn't mean that Chris is not advocating for an increase.
So across the state right now, we're advocating for a 15% increase in SNOA for above current year SNOA allocations. Given the climate, I think in the federal government of Washington D.C., we're unsure if that'll happen or not. Everybody right now, I think the school district, healthcare, SNAP benefits, food benefits, everybody's looking for an increase, so we'll see. We're gonna continue to push, but.
So summarizing operating expenses, personnel expenses are 10.9% under budget, again 3.7% over prior year. Non-personnel expenses are 2% over budget and 27.8% over prior year. And overall expenses are 7.2% under budget and 10.1% over prior year, and 20% over fiscal year 2024. Non-operating revenue are 1.9% under budget, 5.8% over prior year, and 13% over fiscal year 2024. The most notable variances are in operating assistance. This variance is related to federal and state preventative maintenance funds. We only utilize this during periods of higher operating costs, so we basically draw those down as we need. With the increase that we did see in STOA last year, we've been able to conserve some of these funds. Mortgage reporting tax revenue exceed budget expectations, and so those are really nice favorable variances. Any questions in regards to our non-operating revenues? Supplemental report. So mortgage reporting tax, we kind of just talked about that with the October's totals of just 976,000, 30% over budget, 29% over prior year, and 33% over fiscal year 2024. So as noted on the graph on the screen, fiscal year 2022 was the year that Amazon closed on all of their plans, and that was our highest year to date in mortgage reporting tax, and we're trending in line with that. So hopefully our mortgage reporting tax stays healthy. Any questions? In regards to our investment reports, unrestricted operating cash totals 10 million as of October 31st. Uninvested board designated cash is 4.2 million, with a total of uninvested cash being 14.2 million. in regards to our investments in treasury bills, as of October 31st, current investments of operating cash is 10.1 million. Board designated reserves are 14.7 million, with all investment yielding just below 4%.
Can you put that back to prior slide?
Yeah. Any questions?
Okay, this question, again, Mike's, back on the other slide.
Yeah.
I noticed that some of the reserves are kept in savings and some in checking. Why aren't they all in savings earning some interest?
So they all are earning interest, they're just at different banks, so they're still money market accounts, so they all are earning interest.
Okay.
So the capital and paratransit reserve, it is important to diversify your funds with different banks, because you can
Yeah.
leverage. So we do have our capital and our paratransit reserve at JP Morgan. Their interest rates are a little lower, but they do not charge us any fees. They do not charge us any fees. Where M&T, they offer us a little higher interest rate, but we get charged fees.
So you probably balance out in the end, but I was just wondering why some are commercial checking and some are commercial savings.
They're still money market accounts, it's
Okay.
the classification of the bank.
Okay.
The other issue was that the bank is only insured up to $250,000 for the car.
They're collateralized.
Yes,
They're collateralized.
Oh, they,
yes.
Chris, does the minimum fund balance that we have impact our ask? We're going to advocate.
There is some conversations with our NIPTA lobbyists that, they're well aware of our reserves across the thruway for the 4 major authorities, that could be a factor. They're not gonna say necessarily no, but they're not gonna look for the state to bail out our total deficit. So we're anticipating to tap into those reserves in some fashion.
Very familiar.
Yeah.
But they're not caps like you, Tony. Yeah.
And I think our strategic messaging too is like, who wants to live out of their savings, right? That is for an emergency situation. So that's an important message that we also try to communicate as often and frequent as possible. Any other questions in regards to the investment report? So the last report of the statement of cash flow during the month of October, operating cash receipts totaled 2.6 million, cash utilized for daily operations is 8.5 million, with just under 1.5 million received in federal and state capital reimbursements. Any questions on the cash flow? There's no questions, that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you, that's a good report. We'll move right in. Ms. Jackie. UMR, paying, motion to accept the financial things, Chris. Tina, second, Darlene, any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
It's okay.
Too dark outside.
That's what I'm here.
Okay, we're gonna talk about the UMR 2026 premium quote. We're going to the Delta Dental. Then we're gonna go to the Central United Medical Plan.
And
Go ahead.
stop loss. So I have 4 motions to present to you today. So if you schedule, Mr. Chairman and members of the board, good morning. We'll start first with the UMR 2026 premium equivalent. Based upon the claim costs rising along with enrollment and prescription drug expenses increasing, we are looking at a 2% increase to our 2025 rates, which is actually pretty good if you've seen the healthcare rates out there today. So we would need a motion to accept the 2% increase for our UMR self-insured rates.
Questions for Jackie? 2%, I run
Yes.
May I have
All
a
in
mo-
favor, aye.
I brought the good news first.
Yeah.
So,
Can I have a motion? Luella, second, Robert, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Moving into Delta Dental.
So Delta Dental, obviously we've seen an increase in our claims, we've seen an increase in our enrollment, dental expenses are increasing. So we're looking at a 12.2% increase to our Delta Dental premium for 2026. However, just to note that this will not be affecting our employees, our active employees, because the company pays the full premium for all active employees. This only affects those who will be retiring in 2026 going forward, because they will pay a percentage of that premium as a retiree.
What is the percentage?
12% increase.
What is the
The premium?
percentage- No, the percentage that our retirees.
Oh, only 15% of the premium. It's not really, I mean, talking about $65 premium per month for single coverage, 15% of that is not substantial.
That's good for the employees, and I'm happy about that, I think the board is too. If there's any questions for Jackie, if not, I have a motion. Julia, second, Tony, any discussion? All in favor, aye?
Okay, to discuss our community rated Oneida plan. This will be challenging this year. Obviously, Excellus first came to us with a 23.5% increase to the premium. We did some negotiation, our broker helped us with this, and we got the plan down to 17.9% increase in the premium for the original Blue Cross Blue Shield plan for the Oneida employees. However, what I did do too is, because there was a significant increase in these premiums, I asked them to look at another plan to offer to these employees that wouldn't be as substantial. So they came back to me with a hybrid plan. This plan has the same copay amount, same prescription amount. However, for major medicals, it's a deductible plan with a co-insurance of 20%. So if you're a healthy individual and younger, I mean, it might be a substantial plan that you might look to go to instead of the actual original plan. And this plan is only going to increase the rates of 10%.
Do they have the flexibility to go back after next year?
Yes.
During enrollment?
Absolutely, they do. So going forward, I'd like to introduce both of these plans to Oneida employees, and keep those plans in effect in the future for them too.
You know, I'm not surprised at the increase, and, you know, Anthony, you probably, you know, what you see on your side too. It's been, this past year, significant increases in health insurance, I know, across the state.
Yeah, 20 to 25%
Yeah,
increases
this
we're
is
looking at.
This is, and probably the city, I would think, too, Neil, and your, too.
Do we have capacity to manage different plans?
Yes, yes, we do. We got a good HR department.
I question the leadership, but that's don't worry
But I was
about
being nice to you today.
it. It was a matter of time, I know.
We're on the Senate table.
Okay, questions for Jake? Yeah.
Jackie, the second plan, it's an 80-20, kind of like a Medicare kind of.
It's for major medical, so it's a deductible, you have to meet your deductible. It is a high deductible. For single coverage, it's $2,500 a year. However, once that's met, it goes to 20%.
Yeah, to an 80,
Yep.
an 80-20.
Yep, and it's usually for only hospital stays.
Okay.
It's not for your ER visits, are still the $100 copay. Your doctor's appointments are still $25-40, and your prescription costs are still what you're paying.
Okay.
So it's really, you know, geared, I think, towards your younger, healthier individuals.
And do we, I imagine we do, but if somebody comes in and they say, hey, I'm thinking about switching to the other one, we are able to discuss with them in detail and.
Absolutely. We are going to have an open enrollment actually in Utica, and we will have Excellus there to explain to the employees in depth what the different plans are, so they can make an informative selection.
That was my question.
Okay?
I just went through this and it's not easy.
No, it's not, so.
Any other questions for Jackie?
Just will the retirees will get some type of communication as well with their situations.
Yes. The active employees that are going to be retiring, yes.
Okay.
Our other retirees are already grandfathered in, so nothing changes on their part.
Thank you.
Yes.
Any more questions for Jackie? Okay, do I have a motion?
So moved.
Anthony, second, Tina, any discussion? All in favor? Okay, now we're gonna go into
Stop
stop
loss.
loss.
Yes.
Let's explain, just make sure, once again, everybody knows stop loss. We are self-insured with medical insurance, okay? We pay dollar for dollar each claim. When that claim hits, are we $250,000?
250,000.
Okay, 250, not 275.
Yeah.
250, okay, and extra insurance kind of kicks in. It's almost like an umbrella that kicks in. Now, remember, this insurance goes for a calendar year,
Correct.
January to December. So if you hit a high amount in December, that umbrella kicks in only for that 1 month. Then you start all over again in January. But stop loss insurance basically security blanket for high costs and catastrophic claims that will happen eventually. Just that's the way it is, Jake.
Correct. Any questions with Nick's?
Is that a per claim cost?
Yeah. No,
Or
that is
the
a per
overall?
individual cost. So all the claims for one individual.
Okay, so it's not like once we hit 250 per syndrome.
No.
It's per employee, or
No.
per family, or per.
Nope. It's per participant. Per
Okay,
member.
so the Smith family, someone could go at,
You
there's
could
a
have-
child with cancer, that child go into stop loss, but the rest of the family doesn't.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Absolutely. And we have about 680 participants in our plan. So just keep that in mind. So one group did go out to the market to survey stop loss carriers. Across the industry, they're looking at a very significant premium increase, which Nick probably is very aware of. We're looking at most carriers are projecting 40% increase.
And some carriers won't even they won't even bid on it.
Correct. Correct. So Sun Life, who is our current carrier, has offered us a 14% increase. And
So moved.
yeah.
40,
I didn't even get to the good part yet. With no current lasered members. So that means that nobody is lasered on
Explain
the
laser to
plan.
everybody, please.
So lasering is any individual who they may anticipate is going to hit that stop loss of $250,000 a year. They can actually take that participant and say, you know what, this is going to cost us too much to insure this individual because we know they're going to hit the $250,000 every year. So we're going to laser them out of that $250,000 and we're going to put a different cost to that member. We may laser them at $750,000 versus the $250,000. So we have no lasers to this plan, which is significant and good, since we did hit stop loss with 3 individuals this year. So, any other questions?
Tony made a motion. Second with Neil. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Jason, gonna talk to us about our building pest control services.
Good morning, everybody. This resolution is for building pest control services. It'll be paid for with operating funds. The invitation to bid was publicly let on October 1st. 28 vendors were invited and a total of 22 bid packages were downloaded. On October October 23rd, 4 bids were received, with the lowest responsive bidder being Simex Test Services. A full waiver for NWBE participation was approved by the New York State Empire State Development on this contract. Therefore, it is our recommendation that the board award the contract for building pest control services to Simex Pest Services for a 5-year term commencing September 1st, 2026.
Any questions on these little critters? If not, I'll make a motion. Dale, second. Darlene, any discussion? All in favor? Okay. Melissa, anything else to discuss?
Yes.
Okay, let's take a few minutes.
group, they wanna
You're all
run
set?
again.
Okay, welcome
I think
today
it's
to the
okay,
meeting.
but I don't think it's enough.
Okay, let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Brenda, we're gonna have you lead us with the Pledge of Allegiance today. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a moment of silence for a minute. Please, everybody stay standing. We were notified this morning of a sudden passing of a Syracuse operator, Kevin Moore. After a battle with a brief illness, Kevin has been an operator with Central for just over 3 years. We will lower the flags at all Central properties. Just join me in a moment of silence in remembrance of a great person, Kevin Moore. Thank you. Okay, we have a quorum present. One of the favorite things that the board likes to do is recognize the long-standing employee. And today, you're going to recognize Brenda Spar on her retirement. Brenda began her journey in public service with some dedicated military service before joining the transit family as a part-time bus operator in June 1999. By December of that same year, she transitioned to full-time, quickly becoming a beloved presence on her route. Known for her warm heart and exceptional customer care, Brenda built strong connections with her passengers. She had a special place in her heart for underprivileged children, often handing out hats and gloves during the cold winter months and offering guidance to those who seem to be struggling. That will pay you back many times over. Her compassion and commitment to making a difference never went unnoticed. Brenda's passengers adored her and were always saddened to see her route change at the end of each sign-up. Her kindness and consistency and genuine care left a lasting impression on everyone she encountered. As she embarks on a well-earned retirement, Brenda leaves behind a legacy of services, empathy, and community spirit that will be deeply missed. On November 1st, 25 found a 25-year career with Central. Brenda's destination sign flipped to out of service, and she began enjoying the retirement years. I just was talking to Brenda, proud mom of 4 sons. God bless her, 4 sons, because you know, we're never easy. Especially Anthony over there when he was younger. All right. Brenda, we want to thank you for your many years of service and professionalism. We are proud to have had you as a member of our team and family. Congratulations on your retirement.
Thank
Get over here. Sorry, Brenda, throw it in there.
Okay. This guy's been pushing me around for years, so I keep doing it. All right, wait, hold on a minute. Hold that. Hold that. He's got to go, because this is a good picture for Brenda. Brenda, any words of wisdom?
Yes, lots of words of wisdom. First, I want to give honor to God for just blessing with this job. You know, like I said, I explained to him I was a single mom with 4 sons, never worked my entire life, even before coming to Central, you know. And the hardest job is raising kids by yourself. And I thank God for that, because when I got this job, when I came to Central, a true friend of mine's, like family, she said, "Brenda, you're such a great driver. You should go to Central, they hiring." I'm like, me? That big old bus? They was like, yeah, but I drove it like it belonged to me in the beginning. Never say what you can't do until you try it, okay? But this job has really, really took a lot of weight off my shoulders, in many ways. I would come into work 4 o'clock in the morning with the old veterans and go home late at night. I could be at work all day long. I had my mom there to help me with the kids, and she would always let me know when they weren't doing what they were supposed to, because they called me a boot camp mother. But I'm just so grateful, so thankful for this job, giving me an opportunity to serve my community for over 26 years. I was not the big people person at first, but I prayed about it. And God, the first thing God put in my mind was treat people the way you want to be treated. And when I did that, I tell you, to this day, I could go in the grocery store. My favorite bus driver is overwhelming, y'all, sometimes. The day I left here, I was in tears. I couldn't drive no more. It was so overwhelming, because I like to do what people have done for me, give back. And that's why I started the hats and gloves years ago for my kids. Or I didn't care if I was driving down Butternut. If I seen a kid without hat and gloves, I'm going to stop that bus and get them a hat and gloves. And I continue to do that now. I've been giving them out all fall. You know, just giving back to what has been given to me. A chance. Everybody deserves a chance, okay? And when you get that chance, you make good on it, okay? And this job has delivered to me some overwhelming things in my life that has really overwhelmed me. My kids got grown, they graduated. One of them used to be a mechanic, and he moved out to Florida when my oldest son left. They both live in Florida. I'm just overwhelmed. All my kids are grown and gone now, and it's like the weight of the world is off my shoulder, but guess what, y'all? I got 10 grandkids. And they gonna keep it. It's all good. It's all good. I'm just so grateful and thankful. And people say, you ain't old enough to retire. Or people will say, you ain't retired yet. I ain't old enough to. When I get there, I will. You know, but I just thank God for this job. It's been overwhelming. You know, to have a good job, you don't have to worry about health insurance. And this is what I tell the new people in the classes that I talked to before I left. This job, you ain't gonna get no better insurance than Central. I had breast cancer over 13 years ago, stage 3 to 4. This job paid for every dime of it, my insurance. So that alone, to me, that's just half the battle, having insurance, free dental. Look at, I got a nice set. Come on now, you're not, and I tell this to these people in the class, this job, money ain't everything all the time. That's just meeting half the battle, but you need insurance, good insurance, and this job provides it. It's very overwhelming. If anybody ever knew, I can tell you as a poor person, this job is the job. I don't understand why these people come here and go part-time instead of staying full-time. I don't get that. But see, I'm a good person with money, and I know how to deal with money. I've been a treasurer for over 25 years in the church. I always handle money, you know. And I tell people, I learned that by being poor and scraping and scrounging. I learned to be good with money because of what I've been through. See, God got something for everybody.
Always.
When you go through something, you ain't going through it because you just going through it. He going through it to show you and teach you something. And he taught me so much, you know, and I just feel so overwhelmed. You know, I'm a Miss Central, but I ain't gonna miss the public, because everywhere I go in the public, I see them. And my best friend and I went to a nail salon, and there was about 5 people in there. Oh, my favorite bus driver, embracing me. She said, girl, I can't go nowhere with you without people all over. But I just keep it real, and I don't tolerate disrespect from kids, because I was raised not to be disrespectful. So sometimes you have to talk deeply with the young school kids. But I've gotten to a point where I like to get with the young school kids and kind of give them a path to go down. You know, talk to them, stay in school, be a somebody, don't be a nobody. We got enough of them today. You know, and I always encourage them, always. And that's why they call me, I got more nephews in this city of Syracuse than anybody. I just thank God for the opportunity and everything, and I'm so glad. He'll tell you I always talking. Christoph, keep him in this chair. He's young, let him grow into this job. Yeah. Because when you do that, They learn every realm of it,
Yeah.
every realm of it, and he's gonna be good at it.
Thank you, Brenda.
Oh.
Brenda, thank you.
My little dog, and tell your dad I miss my dog.
Can I say this to Brenda?
Yes.
Go ahead, Jeff. I got to say this to you, lady. You are my favorite bus driver.
Aw.
I ride the bus all with you, and I see you on that bus, and I'm glad to see you all the time on that bus.
I know you always said, and when I get off the bus at the hub, I get a million hugs from people just running to me. It's like, am I a superstar?
Yes, you are.
Yes,
You are.
I'm a community.
So give me that.
Thank you. Yep, is this mine?
That is
Oh,
yours.
shucks.
So is the photo.
Oh, shucks. Oh, that's
With
cute.
you on the bus.
Yes, with my pink hair, remember? Thank you. Thank y'all so much. I'm honored. Do I have to stay?
These stories.
They kicked me out down there. They wouldn't let me come in the driver's side to see my co-workers.
I think we all know what your next career might be. You need a stage.
No, I don't want that. You know, I don't like that. I just like to be undercover. But I can't be because too many people call me out, so I can't be undercover. But I thank y'all for the opportunity.
Gonna miss you, bro.
I'm gonna miss y'all.
That's what keeps us in these positions around the table,
Yeah,
I
I
think, so
see.
these good stories.
Yes. Well, I love y'all all.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank y'all for the opportunity to be able to serve the community of Syracuse. Cause it's overwhelming sometimes.
You got everybody working for you too right
Yeah,
now.
I see. Look at them, look at them. Yes. One of the co-workers
Okay, folks, our next meeting is
Thank y'all so
December
much.
19th. Because of the Christmas holiday party, at the meeting after the board meeting, if you'd like to attend. Audit and Finance Committee at 9, board meeting at 9:30. A few corrections to the October minutes that we saw was TPA for prescription services contract winner has been corrected to reflect Proact Inc. And Mr. Tuff is listed as Deputy Chief Executive Officer, and his report has been changed to Chief Executive Officer. And these things happen, no problem. May I have a motion to approve the regular minutes of October 24th? Tina, second. Darlene, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Chris?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everybody. A lot of things to talk about today. A lot of good things happening, a lot of fun stuff. So I'll start off with some of the routine discussions. Legislative meetings, a little update kind of carrying on from what Heather had mentioned this morning about the STOA increases. So Steve, Brett, and I have been making it a point to meet with our assembly members and our senators here locally, really for two things. One of them is to showcase the system redesign that the service development team, marketing team has been working on to redesign the service in Onondaga County, is also redesigning the service in Oswego County. So we've met with Assembly members Magnarelli Sturpey and Assemblywoman Hunter. We also, on Monday, met with Senator Ryan, so that is not in the report. But we talked about the system redesign. We talked about certainly to support the system redesign and really make this successful is their support on the STOA ask. So we segued into the need for a 15% STOA increase this year, which is our ask on behalf of NIPTA. Certainly we know as you look at the $15 million projected deficit from last year, that number is significantly higher. I think it's about a 24-25% budget deficit, or would a STOA increase would be about 25%. And we're seeing this across the state with all of us, but as we mentioned earlier with Tony's comment and the concerns with everybody right now is looking for additional funding. So we know we can't ask for all the money, we gotta divide up the pot. So we've agreed to do 15% and then look at our part to see how do we close the rest of that gap internally through other measures and also some of our reserves. So the meetings are going well. They understand our ask. We're also presenting a dedicated revenue source that we've talked about in the past for a DMV fee, which we know it's something we can rely on. We know the number of cars that are registered in New York State that are non-MTA. So it'd be an additional fee when you register your vehicle that we would look to collect. So that way now, from Melissa's perspective, we kind of have a ballpark or maybe some projected revenues coming into the public transit operating assistance accounts rather than really hoping negotiations go well between the governor, the Senate, and the Assembly to give us a still increase. So we continue to advocate on that, but we are starting our conversations and we'll continue our conversations through this process. Earlier this, really end of September, we had the NIPTA Public Transportation Association Conference, which was in Saratoga. The conference is held every year. In attendance, we had a large group. I think there was 15 of us or so that were down there for different segments. And Tara Spraker, Bob Bona, James Affinger, and Kayla Garcia completed their participation in the Public Transit Leadership Institute, also known as PTLI. We've talked about this. We have quite a few staff members in various leadership roles and that have participated in this program. It's a year-long program. Just learning different avenues and leveraging different technologies and techniques to manage and grow the industry, what it means in the industry. So we're certainly happy to see them complete the program, and then also starting at that time the program, Paula Catrone, Khalil Franks, and Amber Miller are the next course, 25-26 PTLI group that we have submitted. I know Heather, you were a participant, Melissa, myself, Jeff. We've had a number of people over the years, and we truly see the investment in our staff and our employees to continue to grow the industry, to really build the future leaders of public transit. The other piece that came out of that is the NIPTA conference for 2026 will be held here in Syracuse. So we are excited to see that actually take shape in Syracuse. This is the first time it'll be back in Syracuse.
I don't remember,
2006, 2007 at Kegel,
Wow.
Yeah.
somewhere in there.
Yeah, maybe.
And I think it was the spring conference. That was back when they used to do a spring and a fall conference. Since then, they've consolidated only to a fall conference, but we are happy to host it. It's been, like I said, about 19 years since we've hosted it here. There's a lot of conversation, certainly with Syracuse being the center of the state, to try to get more activity in Syracuse regarding meetings and certain conferences because of the central location. It's easier for Buffalo to get to Syracuse or Buffalo to Albany to get to Syracuse rather than Buffalo traveling all the way to Syracuse in a day. So it splits the difference of the travel time, and certainly we don't have to travel, so it makes it easier for us. The other component we're working on in this was potentially bringing back the state rodeo. We have stopped our local rodeo, but the state rodeo is under conversation, so we'll see if that takes shape over the coming months. Also, in the past couple weeks, our Reaching Productivity Milestones, RPM program, which Suzanne talked about this morning in our governments committee, that program continues to evolve. So we have now, with the addition of Cortland, extended our program to really a 2-week road show where leadership and myself and the VPs and staff travel to the various locations. So over the course of 2 weeks, we visited every property, both Utica and Rome, Cortland, Oswego, Syracuse, to talk about the RPM program, announce our winners, our quarterly winners. So just highlighting our operator of the quarter was out of Oneida County, Utica facility, Jerome Felton, 23-year operator there. Staff spoke highly of him and his commitment to the service in Utica. Maintenance employee of the quarter, Paul Friel, 22-year employee here in Syracuse in the maintenance department. And then admin employee of the quarter, Anne Marie Brennan, who is our under the finance team in payroll, has really taken the payroll processing in the program and have grown it. And then also taken her time to sit down with employees and schedule events or meetings or times for her to set up a table really down in the driver's room and the mechanics room to meet with staff, answer questions about payroll, walk them through any questions they may have. So she's really taken the lead on that from Melissa's team. Another fun thing we try to do in the fall RPM is a chili cook-off. You know, the timing seems to be right through October. To do a little tailgate theme, we allow operators and staff to wear jerseys and promote their favorite athletic team. But we did a chili cook-off this year. We had 27 chili entries across all 6 locations. We have a select number of guests judges that travel to every property and sample all 27 chilies. I am not one of them, but I get to ride in the car with them after that. But it's fun. It's well received. This is the largest we've seen. Every property at least had 3 chilies. So Oswego, we had Mike Richards was the best chili through the People's Choice. So we do a vote on property. So anybody there that day samples the chilies. They pick their winner. And then our judges will then pick a grand champion of all the properties. So Mike Richards won in Oswego. Cayuga was Brian Lachon. Utica was Casey Martin. Syracuse was Austin Smith. Cortland was Renee Lee, and Rome was Bill Simon, with the grand champion being Renee Lee out of Cortland. So good win for Cortland in this process. Everybody had a lot of fun trying it and different things. We had dessert chilies, which I'd never seen before. It was, I think, chocolate pudding with brownie chunks in it and cherries in it. Some people said it was delicious. Like I said, I didn't try it. We had some chowders, we had some things there, but it was just a lot of fun. I think a lot of people had a lot of fun with it to try the chilies and engage with each other while they're doing it, share their local recipes, and now we're getting asked to do other types of cook-offs, maybe something in the summer or barbecue cook-offs and such, but we'll see how those all go. The next piece I want to highlight before we get into some community involvement, if you haven't seen in the news or you haven't heard yet, we were awarded on Tuesday a $9.28 million grant from the FTA for our low and no emission bus program. So this is a continuation of competitive grants that we've been going after for a number of years now. Really probably the last 2.5, 3 years with the leadership of Melissa and Tara. We've been very diligent about finding pots of money to continue to bring capital funds in as we look at these projects that we have. The Oneida facility, the bus rapid transit, and certainly overhaul of our fueling station, which is going on right now. And other projects as we see, every dollar helps, especially as we talk about the financial plan. So we were awarded $9.28 million, which is dedicated to the bus rapid transit compressed natural gas buses and their amenities for the BRT project. So we're thankful to our partners on the federal level, certainly Senator Schumer and Gillibrand, our Congress members Mannion and Tenney, the FTA, for supporting our grant opportunities and continue to invest in us on what we do with the funding. Just to kind of share, as I highlighted the comment, 2.5 years we've been really aggressive going after these funds. Total, I think it's about $54 million in competitive grant funding that we've retained or received in the last 2.5 to 3 years. It is all strictly capital money, but it allows us to help with some of the capital funding on the back end. So in 53 years of the authority, we've never seen that type of investment through competitive grants. So that's great. The team, the staff, certainly this is a testament of what we do. When we tell our story why we need the money, it's contingent on our triennial reviews. It's contingent on our showcasing the service and what Centro does with the money. So this is a group effort, but to see $54 million in our capital plan in the last 2.5 years is exciting, and we're going to continue to go after those funds to just improve our services and our vehicles. All right.
We're gonna need some grant money for that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Can we give us a couple pennies?
Get on that nice competitive grant.
Yeah. So segueing into our community involvement, and this is something that really has been personal to me as we talk about a lot of the things and how we showcase what we do in the community. And quite frankly, these are things that we've done for many years. We just never really talked about it. We never put it on display to tell our story. And the marketing team, I've tasked them with several years, and I think I talk about this every time about this time of year. How do we take this to the next level? How do we get things out there for the next program? So on November 11th, we went to Bridge Street to launch our partnership with the Central New York YMCA, Lamar Transit, M&T Bank to bring, or actually launch. This is not bring. We are pioneering this idea. And I think in my video I say launch or bring it to Syracuse, but we are one of a kind with this idea. This is the Roller Express. So it's a building of the program we have done now the last 3 years to bring individuals, organizations, and groups that don't have the means, they don't have either the funding available, the vehicle to go enjoy lights on the lake here in Oneida County. So we've been doing it about the last 3 years. We've only been able to really schedule and secure about 5 or 6 trips just because of resources, manpower. But the YMCA partnered with us to take over that scheduling, that resource opportunity where they're right about 20 events scheduled right now during the 32-day window that we can bring a bus through Lights on the Lake. So the partnership has definitely grown this program. We kicked it off on Wednesday, this past 19th, with Salute Our Troops Night, with a bus full of veterans partnering with ClearPath to have veterans enjoy Lights on the Lake through the vehicle of Centro. So we're excited about that, and before I continue on, we had a video to launch this, so we wanted to showcase the video if you haven't seen it. This was all done in-house, by the way, from our marketing team, Casey Brown and Lynette. So take a look, it's about 50 seconds.
Can you pull the chair?
Oh, by the way, the snowflakes are real.
Yes. Yes.
Wednesday, November. Honored to partner with the YMCA and M&T Bank to bring the Roller Express to Central New York. Wednesday, November 19th, we're honored to kick this off with a bus full of veterans to salute our troops day.
At the Y, we're thrilled to partner with Centro and the support of M&T Bank to be able to provide this great opportunity for our members. This great opportunity for our members, program participants in the community to bring a little bit of holiday cheer.
M&T Bank is pleased to partner with the YMCA and Centro on this unique offering in the holiday season. We're pleased to do our part. Happy holidays.
It's just because we want you guys to keep on watching.
Who's in the Santa?
That is through county parks. So they have somebody that does Santa at the entrance. Where's DJ when you need him? So this is the bus actually Wednesday going through the event. The marketing team was able to capture a couple photos with the YMCA to show it going through. But the feedback already in the last 2 days has been tremendous on this program. You see the excitement. It's there. So we're excited about it. I know the marketing team is excited about it to make this happen. This is a vision we've had now for a couple of years, and we really needed the resources to get it off the ground. And the YMCA and M&T and Lamar has helped us do that. So we're thankful for that partnership. Continuing our partnership with the YMCA, we also have a couple Stuff-A-Bus events going on. So December 6th, we will be at the Fayetteville YMCA in Fayetteville Town Center. We will also be at the Cicero Walmart doing our traditional Stuff-A-Bus event with the partnership with them to collect toys that we will bring to the Salvation Army that we give out during the Christmas Bureau toy handout later in December. Last year we collected, I'm gonna look the one at to make sure I got this, 762 toys.
743.
743 toys were collected just at the Cicero Walmart with the partnership there with Cicero Police in Walmart. So continuing that now with the YMCA and also adding a second bus in Fayetteville Town Center. Our goal is to double that, and hopefully when we show up with the buses on the 8th to the Salvation Army to unload those toys, they are packed to the brim. So we're excited about the program and continuing to see that grow to give back to the community. Also a Stuff-A-Bus event, something we've done now the last couple of years is we partnered also with the CNY SPCA, certainly taking care of the kids, but also taking care of our fur friends. To do a Stuff-A-Bus event to support the CNY SPCA. They're collecting treats and toys and food and blankets for their animals that are at the shelters through this time, certainly relying on them to help foster some of these animals. We've done this now. This is our fourth year with the CNY SPCA to do that as well. So we're excited on those events. Another one happening on the 29th is the Baldwinsville Parade of Lights. This again is the partnership with the YMCA. They've asked us with conjunction with their Baldwinsville YMCA location to take the Roller Express to have it in the Parade of Lights. So a little bit about the Parade of Lights. This is our first year doing it, but the Baldwinsville Volunteer Fire Department, in conjunction with the Village of Baldwinsville Tree Lighting Celebration, brings the community. It's a family-friendly event that welcomes fire departments, ambulances, police departments, heavy equipment businesses, local businesses, and community groups to enjoy the lights. Last year they had over 7,000 people at the parade with 165 vehicles. So we're proud to be part of that and showcase the Roller Express continuing in the community for that. And the one last thing that we did this past week is the Lights On Caravan, which we probably have seen in the news. It's an annual event that brings together emergency vehicles from across the county to raise awareness about impaired driving. This is the 42nd annual caravan that was held this past week, November 15th. We have hosted this continually every year that the caravan starts here at Centra. We do a press conference downstairs in the Dietz Center. And this year, the ending location was the Manoa Fire Station 1. And this is to honor victims of drunk driving and urge people to drive sober, especially as we embark on the holiday season. So we're thankful to be part of that and continue the tradition that was started many years ago with Jerry Dietz, a former employee and trainer here, to promote the safety in our community. A lot of information, a lot of exciting things happening. Any questions for me?
I have a question.
Absolutely.
I have two questions. So the first question is for capital. Is Central eligible for any MEP or ATC funding? Do you guys traditionally apply for those funding sources as well?
Yes, but that's not competitive.
Okay.
That's legislated to us. So yes, we do apply for that. One thing we did learn at NIPJA is that New York State is going to offer a competitive MEP program that we will also plan to apply for.
That's great. And then with the Lights on the Lake initiative, is Centra willing to consider doing a bus for Oswego County to be able to participate in Lights on the Lake, like a community bus? I think it's important for our rural communities to be involved in that as well.
I mean, it's certainly something we can discuss as the expansion of the program. Right now, the YMCA is handling all the scheduling and the reservations of that to focus with like non-for-profit groups and organizations. But it's certainly a conversation we can have offline.
Does Oswego have any type of similar venue like that up in?
No, we traditionally have been busing residents to the state fair and to Lights on the Lake. But it's hard because our buses that we have in the county are small.
Take that into consideration.
And we still have to consider opening up those Lights on the Lake buses to my seniors and disabled people who need to get on bus.
I mean, and I think that's part of the groups that they're reaching out to. I know we were working with City Parks for their senior centers in the previous trips, and I believe they're still contacting and working with who we've already started with. But there's still opportunities for growth in this. So
I'd love to see 2 or 3 little call buses out there taking out some of our folks who are really homebound, and call buses are like a.
Right.
I think it's gonna evolve.
Yeah, we're seeing this grow. There's a lot of activity through it and excitement around it.
And I won't let you forget.
It's okay. But we're excited. You know, these are the things that, again, that we're doing that maybe have not gotten a lot of publicity or a lot of showcasing as we talk about giving back to the community. You know, Brenda was a prime example of things she's doing on her own, but we're doing a lot of things, and I want to tell that story because I think it's only going to continue to showcase what our staff does, our drivers do, our mechanics do. You know, that Roller Express bus rolls because everybody comes together. So that's part of the community that we put out there.
If you guys were to offer more, like speaking on the paratransit, how many wheelchairs can one vehicle hold? Like, can your paratransit convert more seats if you put them down to hold like 3 or 4 wheelchairs?
I think it would get up to 3.
3 is the max.
3 is the max that we can do because of the securements that are built into the construction of the vehicle. We also have a couple low floor transits that will hold 4 wheelchairs, but it removes a lot of the seats for other individuals. So.
Okay, thank you.
Lewis?
This is not a question, just a statement. I want to, on behalf of the Southside TNT program, Southwest Community Center, and thank Centra for participating in the 50th anniversary that we had. It has been a good event and stuff like that. It's been 50 years since that program started. And I think Centra is 53 years, right?
Correct.
And so it started 2 or 3 years before.
Yep.
And hopefully we're going to get more and more involved with some things that in the community.
Yeah, I had a conversation with Val last week, actually, to talk about initiatives and where they want to see the Southwest Community Center go and how we can make sure Centro's there to support them. So it was a good event. We were excited to be there and happy to participate. Any other questions on that? Bob, go ahead.
Okay, going back to revenue, cash in, okay, in the past, we've gotten tax credits from the feds for the seed.
Yeah, the alternative fuel tax credit. Yep.
Yes, where does that stand?
Go ahead.
So that has expired. There is initiatives from ACTA to reauthorize that in the next bill, which will be in 2026. But right now that credit has expired.
So that means we're not
Correct.
getting one?
Yes, so it's based on a calendar year. So for the calendar year of 25, we are not recognizing any tax credit for CNG.
And how much was that? Just
In the last couple of years, it's been closer to like $320,000. In years past, it's been closer to 500. It depends on the service and the amount of fuel we're using. I'm not saying this can happen, but what I've seen in the past is when it gets reauthorized, sometimes it does look back. So that's a possibility that could happen in the reauthorization of that credit.
But we're fighting for that.
Yes, we are.
Yep, I just signed on a letter earlier this week to continue for that initiative to be reinstated. Any other questions? All right, moving on to a couple of the BP reports. I'll start with Steve first.
Thank you, Chris.
Mr. Chairman, good morning, members of the board. How is everybody doing today? I'm going to start first of all with the annual report. It was handed out. I want to thank Lynette Pagano and Casey Brown for their hard work on getting this put together. It's quite an undertaking. I think that Melissa and Chris also have offered a hand in the production of this as well and writing. It's a good product. We get to add and talk about the addition of Portland this year. So kudos to them. It's a really great thing to have be able to pass out to members of the board. Ridership for last month compared to the previous month was flat. And I'll get to that in a minute, the reason why. It was up in Auburn by about 3%. Oswego was up 6.5%. Utica was up 6%. Rome was up 18%. The reason why it's flat is that we've seen ridership really level out in Syracuse. I think we've reached a saturation point to a degree in Syracuse that we really can't increase ridership here until we increase the level of service. I think that we are where we are going to be until we get this system redesigned up and running in Syracuse. We're about 74% of where we were pre-COVID in Syracuse. That's our biggest property, so that's kind of about where we are overall in system-wide. You look at Rome. Rome's about 90. Rome is almost back completely to where it was pre-COVID. Oneida, Utica is like 90%. Oswego is 90%. Cayuga is over 80%. But Syracuse is lagging a little bit, and that's just because we don't have the same level of service on the street as we had pre-COVID. So we're looking forward to getting.
On the 74% for Syracuse, did you have a certain vision or a number in your mind that you thought you would have been at?
I mean, if we had been full service, I think we would be where the other properties are. I think we'd be in the 80 to 85% of where we'll be. There are some rides that we're never going to get back. There are some individuals who are working remotely who don't need to go to the office anymore. There are individuals who were taking trips before to purchase items that now they have delivered to their doorstep. So I think those types of trips have impacted, and it's really hard to get to that 100%. The fact that Rome is like at 97% tells me that, had COVID not happened and Amazon not been, I mean, we would be well above where we were previous. But we've recaptured a lot of ridership there in the system redesign. So, things change. Some schools, colleges are going remote, have a lot more remote classes. So it really affects our ridership from the traditional rides that we saw people take. So I don't know if we'll ever get back to 100% based on the same level of service we had pre-COVID. That's just my opinion.
No, I appreciate that.
We'd also like to talk about the fact that we had public hearings in Oswego County this week, one in Oswego on Tuesday and one in Fulton last night regarding the system redesign. They went well. Certainly, there is some concern in the community of Fulton regarding access to one particular apartment complex, which is Fulton Mills. Heather's well aware of the challenges that we have there, and I think that we're going to provide service that's on the main road and get people out to see and get to access our bus on their front area. There's a back location that we've served previously that is problematic. Our drivers have expressed safety concerns about maneuvering the bus back there, especially in winter months. There's a circle there where there's a lot of vehicular activity which blocks us from getting around the circle. There are individuals that tend to linger in that circle. Our drivers are reluctant to bring a 30-foot bus around there because they're concerned about hitting something or someone. And I know I don't think the city thinks it's ideal to have everything out on the street, but we operate on the street. That's what we do. We often are an impediment to traffic. That's how we operate everywhere we operate. I don't feel that increasing the pickups and discharges on the street is anything any different than we do anywhere else. And it's just, I think, a situation where people are used to having the bus come up to the front door in the back, and now we're really seeing that that may not be something that's safe to do going forward. So we're going to move forward with that. And listen, we're a bus company. If we're wrong and we create problems, we can pivot. So.
And the county fully supports that transition.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it very much. It was an interesting public hearing last night. But we're good. So we will come to the board with a full recommendation to move forward with system redesign in the city of Oswego and the city of Fulton. Any questions for me?
How's you working out with the new construction zone?
You know, the 81 stuff, everywhere you turn around, you're running into a construction site related to 81. It delays us a little bit. Sometimes we have to go on detour. It's not really any different than any other types of detours that we have to deal with in providing our service. So we have a good communication process with NISDOT. They let us know ahead of time what's going to happen. Tanisha Murphy has been great about making sure that we are updated. We have regular meetings with the senior leadership at NISDOT, so we know what's happening. They give us months in advance notice, so anything that's large and really going to affect us, they're communicating to us. So it's been fine. Anything else?
Good job, Steve.
All right. And I want to say one thing. That, it's time to be thankful, right? I'm thankful for people like Brenda Sparrow.
Yes.
She's just tremendous, and she, over the years, she has been a good resource for service development and for marketing. If we have to find out what drivers are thinking, we go to Brenda, and she gives us a straight information. So it was great to see her. Not great to see her retire, but really appreciate what she does and provide service for the community. So thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks. And Jackie, round it out.
Good morning again. So I come to you with one more motion. I am pleased to announce that after 11 months of negotiating with the United Public Service Employees Union, that we have successfully reached a tentative agreement. The tentative agreement was ratified by the union members on November 17th, which was this past Monday. It was an 80% majority vote in favor of the contract. The contract overall, the average increase over the next 3 years average is 5.4%. Some of the highlights from that is the hourly rate for bus drivers will be at $30 per hour. Mechanics will be at $31.20. Medical copay reimbursements, we have eliminated. Employee medical contributions for the first year has increased from 15% to 16%. And then the second year will increase from 16% to 17%. And all new hires coming in will be paying 18% of medical contribution. The uniform and shoe allowance increased by $50 per year for the members. And we added a weekend premium of $1.50 per hour for operators and maintenance employees. 2 additional points, medical furloughs reduced from 18 months to 12 months per injury. And the maintenance staff scheduled adjusted from 4 off per day to 3 off per day, which is now to improve operational coverage at the facility.
How many years is the contract?
3 years.
What percentage of employees are a part of the union?
All of the Utica employees, Rome has a separate contract. They're under the ATU.
60 something, I think, employees in the UPS.
Yeah.
62, somewhere in there.
Questions for Jim? Yeah, I know there's a lot of work to do.
You said 18% is the contribution toward the healthcare, that's 18% of the healthcare
Premium, correct. Yes.
Questions?
I would just need a motion.
I have a motion, please. Anthony, second, Tina. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Okay, one more
Yeah.
thing.
Wait, there's more.
As a reminder, Mr. Davis.
That's what we're doing?
Mr. Davis. And other members of the board. As a reminder that I mailed out to you training on your ethics. Please remember to do that by the end of the month. I know some of you have already completed that, so I can send out a reminder link for you. Since you're retired, I figure you have a lot of time on your hands.
When I can.
Yes. So just as a reminder, yes, I'll send out another link to anybody who hasn't completed it. Heather, you have a totally different ethics training that I have to go over with you, so don't worry about it. So you're out of this reminder, so. Thank you, everybody. Have a nice holiday.
And Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report. Senior team.
Very good. Excellent job, everybody. Okay, we're gonna move into audit and finance committee. This was all discussed in detail. First, we had a motion to accept the statement of revenues and expenditures. Melissa did a nice job going through everything in detail. And it seems at this point in time, we are fiscally in a good position, cash flow included. With that being said, a motion was made to bring it to the full board for approval. I have a motion, please. Neil, second. Tina, any discussion? All in favor? Okay, Jackie has been up here too much this month.
I fully agree.
Okay.
Well, you won't have this here next month.
That's right, see?
The UMR premium equivalent, we went over that in detail. A motion was made to bring it to the full board for approval. I have a motion. Julia, second. Tina, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Delta Dental was also discussed in detail. Motion was made to bring it to the board for approval. I have a motion. Robert, second. Luella, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. The Oneida medical plan. Originally, it was at 23% on, and we got it down to 17.9%. Motion was made to bring it to the full board. I have a motion, please. Anthony, second. Neil, any discussion? All in favor? Stop loss. Jakey, what was the increase on that?
14%.
14%, okay. There also was a motion made to bring it to the full board. May I have a motion, please, for stop loss award? Okay, Darlene, second. Tina, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Jason brought forward 3A, resolution for awarding building pest control to CMAX, pest services for a 5-year term. As we saw all the numbers, properly bid. So a motion was made to award a 5-year contract. May I have a motion, please? Julia, second. Tina, any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Darlene.
The governance committee met earlier this morning. Suzanne presented the CNYRTA Internal Control Manager roadmap and the annual mission statement and the performance measures review. There was no action needed.
It was very good. You did a good job. It's a lot of work. And it's not sometimes the most exciting work, but it has to be done. It's good work, right. Good. I want to say something under old business. Julius, thank you for the invitation. That was a nice evening. The musicians there, both of them.
Yeah.
And the dancing was unbelievable.
It was.
I got tired just watching that. Everything was great, but I enjoyed it, and it was a very nice event. Anybody got any old or new business around the table? Julie?
This is at least, we have a mayor-elect, and I think her intent has come closer and closer with the central and other parts of the city. I don't know enough over 40 years, I know. Her thoughts is to get closer to the community.
Yeah, it was, actually, I had a few words with her that evening. Very nice speaking to her. And looking forward to working with her. I think she's going to do a great job for the community. I really do. That being said, I just need a motion for a personnel-related matter to go into executive session. Neil, second. Heather. Discussion on fair. I want everybody to have a great Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Did Caitlin talk
Okay,
to
we're
you?
coming out of
She
executive
sent
session.
me an email,
Coming out-
I've not responded to it.
Okay.
I need to.
Okay, so I'm Caitlin
Melissa,
Pope.
Melissa, excuse me, relax. Okay. We're coming out of executive session, no action was taken, everybody have a great Thanksgiving, thank you.
Thanks.